Hey there, podcast lovers. Looking for a fresh take on the world? Tune into Nikki's World, where we dive into everything hitting the headlines and chat about just what's on our minds. No filters, just real talk. Whether you're sipping your morning coffee or unwinding after a long day, Nikki's World is your go-to for genuine commentary on the real world. Subscribe now if you want to hear the real deal on what's going on. Join the conversation on Nikki's World, where every episode feels like catching up with an old friend. Don't miss out.
What's up, y'all? Let's do this.
Oh, hi guys, welcome to Nikki's World. I'm Nikki, your host, and today, guys, we got to talk about what happened last week in New Jersey with that leftist protest slash riot at the Delaney Hall ICE detention facility. We got to talk about that and so much more because I got a lot to unload and a lot to dump on you about that. But before we go any further, guys, if you guys love Nikki's World so much, seriously, y'all, can y'all please consider donating a cup of coffee for me? Because for the price of a cup of coffee at Starbucks, Dunkin' Donuts, and Cumberland Farms, guys, you guys help keep this podcast show alive. You guys help me curate more stories, more topics like this to talk about. I do accept Bitcoin donations. I am on Ko-fi, guys. If you guys want to support, sponsor, donate, and tip to Nikki's World, and also commission me for a photo shoot. If you guys love Nikki's World so much, seriously, y'all, please hit that like, subscribe, please give me a review. Good, bad, and the ugly. Also, guys, I do have a bunch of affiliate links to go through. And first one on the list is Minds.com. Minds.com is a Connecticut-based social media platform, guys. They are an awesome alternative to Facebook. So if you guys value your right to freedom of speech like I do, and you guys want to be able to say shit without fear of being blocked, suspended, or deplatformed, well then, ladies and gentlemen, head over to my friends at Minds.com. So, guys, I do have the most awesome, and I mean the most awesome affiliate link with Burner. Burner is the less lethal self-defense company, guys. They make their top-of-the-line Burner SD, Burner LE, TCR, Mission 4, and their newest, guys, their compact launcher. So if you guys value your right to the Second Amendment, your right to self-defense, but you guys want to do it in a less lethal manner, well then, ladies and gentlemen, head on over to my friends at Burner.com. And finally, guys, I do have this awesome affiliate link with North Shore Medical Supply. North Shore Medical Supply, they make their top-of-the-line North Shore Megamax diaper, North Shore Supreme diaper, their Supreme pull-ups, and their Eternal boosters, guys. So if you know somebody out there that needs to wear adult diapers, that needs to be put in adult diapers like I am, guys, well then, ladies and gentlemen, send them on over to my friends at North Shore Medical Supply, and they will make sure that they are diapered up and padded up as always. And before we get this show on the road, literally, guys, if you guys love this episode and any of my other episodes on Nikki's World, please consider sharing this across all the social media platforms that are out there today. Wow, really? Wow, that was a fucking damn mouthful. That was, guys. And yes, guys, I am diapered up as always. I am in my North Shore Megamax diapers with my Eterna boosters and my onesies from Little Comforts. So it's Monday. I'm diapered up, padded up. Let's get on with the show, shall we? So, as y'all know, you know what happened last week with the leftist protests, insurrection at the ICE detention facility at Delaney Hall? Here's the problem I see in all this. We live in a two-tier justice and law enforcement system in this country. Okay? We always thought that in the United States of America that we have like equal justice and liberty for all in this country. Turns out we don't. And an example of this is Delaney Hall in New Jersey. Fuck. How can like the Secretary of Homeland Security let this protest go for days, weeks, and not even put a stop to this? I thought President Trump was about restoring law and order in this country. If he was all about restoring law and order to this country, he should at least have the balls to at least crack down on Antifa, the pro-Hamas cult, the leftists, and their NGOs, the same way that the last administration, which is the Let's Go Brandon administration or the Pino administration, went after January 6th Patriots and went after anyone that was like, what, remotely in the DC border? Holy fuck. What happened to the law and order president that they was boasting about? Okay? I know the MAGA crowd is saying, oh, we support ICE, we support ICE, we support ICE, we support this. But then the problem is, support is one thing. Actions speak louder than fucking words here, ladies and gentlemen. Action speaks louder than fucking words. The one problem I have in this country here is everybody's all talk and no action. Everybody in the fucking United States of America likes to talk shit, likes to talk they're big and bad and shit. But my generation, which is the Gen X generation, I grew up in the 80s and 90s. We were like this. Fuck is cheap, bitch. But show us what you got. That's the generation I grew up in. Today's generation is all about words, like talking it all, talk this, talk this, talk this. But nobody's doing anything about it. That's why I think like this. There are people in the Trump administration that are literally, ladies and gentlemen, hamstringing the president. Basically handcuffing the president while trying to act like he's trying to do something. Okay? I thought we got Cash Patel in there and Cash Patel was going to clean up this whole shit. Come on, Cash. Show us what you got, man. You say you're going to do this? I'm sitting here. I'm sitting here in my diaper, onesie, and my cup of coffee, waiting to see the results, my boy. What's the results? The fact of the matter is, guys, what happened last week at this Delaney Hall protest and all this shit is the fact that there are people in the deep state government that are letting this go on and on and on because you know why? They want to make Trump look bad in the midterm elections and make Trump or his successors look bad in the presidential election. The fact of the matter is, and I'm just going to say this bluntly, if this was done by January 6th Patriots, you know how fucking fast the federal government would come down on them and basically throw them back all in prison? You know how fast the fucking federal government would come down if it was done by January 6th Patriots? But since it's Andy and Brandy of Antifa or Trantifa, along with their leftist NGOs and their pro-Hamas cult, but since it's done by them, some people in the government will go this. Oh, I don't see nothing. I don't see nothing. Sometimes I like to take a baseball bat and just slap some common sense right across their head and just say like this, bitch, take a. It's that simple. The fucking problem is like this. We're letting Andy and Brandy Tifa run their mouths and run run the cities and countries or run like states like if it's no damn fucking business. We're letting these people like have their temper tantrums and whiny hissy faces basically without any repercussions and consequences for their actions. Well, basically, ladies and gentlemen, the fact of the matter is, you got Andes and Brandies and Trantifas like having their whiny hissy protests about immigration law, about enforcing the rule of law. The fact of the matter is, ladies and gentlemen, I thought we live in the United States of America where everybody has a right to protest. Yes, including the lunatic leftists. You have a right to protest, but you have a right to interfere with their operation. Okay? You don't have a right. That's why it's like this. The White House built like a protest zone, like right across at the park. So they let them have their constitutional right to protest, but you have the right to interfere. And this is the problem with the lunatic left, the anti-ICE cult, the pro-immigration cult. These people want to interfere with the federal government in enforcing federal law. Now, I have my solutions and suggestions for this. So hear me out. Hear me out here. First of all, you go after these leftists the same way the federal government went after January 6th Patriots. Okay? You go after them the same way. If I were the Secretary of Homeland Security, I'd be doing that in a fucking heartbeat. I'd be sending teams, not only going after the illegal immigrants, okay, the ones that have criminal records, the ones that are wanted criminals in their home country, I'd be going after them. But at the same token, I'd be going after the people, especially the leftists, who are trying to hinder their job. I'd be going after them as well. I'd be arresting them right there on the spot. Second, no bail for these people. No bail. Okay? If they want bail, make it so damn high that they can't fucking afford it. Okay? And knowing bondsmen and bounty hunters out there, they want what? 10% of a bail money? I'd make it like this. $500,000. Okay? or at least $1 million bond. For interfering with the federal government, I'd make that $1 million bond. At that point, they can't get bonded out. No bondsman or bounty hunter is going to put up that kind of collateral to spring them out of jail. So they're gonna sit there until the outcome of their case. And at the same time, I try them for treason and sedition. Okay, I try them for that. I'd make the charges stick. And at the same time, I drag out the court case until Trump's term is over. And then I just let it slide and let it go through the process. Or as what Dan Bongino would say, the process is the punishment. I'd make the process so painfully, so nasty that it would be part of their punishment. It would. But I'd make the process the punishment. The fact of the matter is, guys, you got these leftists who think that they can run their fucking mouths at people, who think that they can run their mouth. But then I say to myself, these people are gonna fucking say this to the wrong fucking person, and when the 9mm bullet hits them, and come crying to my ass when you're at the hospital and some doctor is trying to pluck that bullet out of your ass just because you wanted to act like you're big and bad and tough in front of someone and thinking that you have a right to do your shit. You come crying when a 9mm bullet comes hitting your ass. Come crying. Don't. But I'm telling you this. This is what's going on with these people. These people who are protesting at Delaney Hall, who thinking that, oh, nobody's illegal. We want open borders, sanctuary cities, and all this. But I'm telling you this: do these dumb motherfucking retard leftists not fucking understand? Some of these people you want in the country are wanted criminals in their own country that have committed crimes that would make you cringe. Some of them may be wanted for rape, robbery, murder, home invasion, or war crimes, and you want them in the United States? It's like, fucking mentally retarded? Did you fall on? Did the doctor drop you on the floor when you were in bed? Did the doctor drop you on the head? God, yeah, I probably would be more sympathetic and understand why you're so mentally retarded. Some of these people that ICE is actually going after are wanted criminals in their own country. They have to face justice in their own country. Okay? Some of them, if you look up Interpol's red notices, some of them are wanted in their own country, and as a signatory to the Interpol treaty, we're obligated to go after their wanted criminals. I'll give you an example. Let's say if a wanted murderer murdered someone in Rio de Janeiro in Brazil, escapes to America, okay, and knowing the left will try to shield him or protect him, but unknowingly doesn't know that they're wanted murderer in their own country because they murdered someone, and the fact that they're wanted, the federal government is obligated by treaty to bring them to justice, to bring them back home and say, here you go. He was found in our country. I see he's a wanted criminal. You do what you wish to him. There you go. Same thing. Some of them are wanted for war crimes. And makes me wonder, why would the left want these people in? Okay? Why would the left want these people in? Now, I know many times I've advocated for legal immigration, and I would advocate for the Canadian system, which places a premium and basically a priority system. That means like this: you can't immigrate to Canada unless you have a skill, unless you have family that the Canadian government can go visit, verify, okay? And you basically like this have to have like education. The reason why Canada does this is because they don't want to take people who don't have skill, don't have education, don't have family connections, unless they're a refugee recognized by the Canadian Parliament. Okay, I've advocated for that here in America, where we'll take immigrants who want to join our beloved United States military, who have a skill, okay, who has family, and who can be productive members of the country, and that can go to like cities and states that have a need for those immigrant skills, like say doctors, nurses, lawyers, engineers, okay, or like IT professionals, okay. It would be based on a point system that the Canadian government has, and that's the kind of immigration system I like to have in this country. And then enforcement, same thing. Have the same enforcement that we have in this country, but instead of like openly going after illegal immigrants, I do what Tom Homan would do. It would be called targeted enforcement. That means, like, for example, I would target the people who have final deportation orders, the people who have orders to leave the country, okay? People who are wanted criminals in their home country, and their country is requesting that we go after them and bring them to their country for justice. And then if you find a run of the mill illegal immigrant there at the same time, grab them too. Same thing. But I wouldn't do it out in the open. I do it targeted. That means you go after the individual at the same time, but then at the same time, you have teams. You have a separate team that goes after the anti-ICE groups, the Andes and Brandy Tifas. So the minute that this team goes after an illegal immigrant and they see an anti-ICE cult member trying to harass, intimidate, block, and impede a lawful order from a judge, that secondary team comes in, grabs that anti-ICE member, and arrests them right there on the spot, and then throws them in federal detention center and gives them no bail until the outcome of their case. Pretty much that simple. And then the penalties, oh, I'd make the penalties stiffer. I'd make it so fucking stiff, ladies and gentlemen, that these people would never ever fucking see freedom ever again. These people would be treated the same way how they treated January 6th patriots in federal prison and in detention. I would make these leftists be treated the same way how they treated January 6th patriots. Okay? I would do that in a fucking heartbeat. But I will tell you this. I will tell you this. I will say this. The fact that we're letting these protest mobs like grow and expand. One thing I would bring back, and a lot of people on social media aren't even thinking about this, the post 9/11 Patriot Act. Bring back the Patriot Act and watch how fast these leftist NGOs run, hide, and cover. Because the minute that they rear their fucking ugly head, they're being put on surveillance by the federal government. That means they're being surveilled. They're being infiltrated. That means people are watching them. People are surveilling them, wiretapping them, or even watching their emails, their chats, and all that. Because I'm telling you right now, if we brought back the 9/11 Patriot Act, groups like Andy, Brandy, or Tranny Tifa would not rear their ugly heads, because the minute they do, the FBI is going to be fucking all over them, because they're going to fucking treat them like they're international terrorists. They're going to treat them like they're terrorists from a foreign country. They literally are. But this is why, guys, what happened at Delaney Hall last week is god-awful systematic failures of the Trump administration. It is so god-awful. Yes, there are certain things I'd support President Trump on, like bringing back the strong military, bringing back the strong border, which includes putting the military on the border. Okay, I support that, but I also like this. Don't like how he's going after illegal immigrants. Okay, how he's doing it, and how he's letting leftist groups like Andy's, Brandy, Tifa's running their mouths and running around like, oh, the government's not gonna go after me. Oh, the government's not gonna go after me. But the problem is, if this was done by January 6th patriots, government would go after them in a fucking heartbeat. The government would. But here's the problem in all this. And here's the problem I see, guys, is that Trump is all talk about bringing back law and order in this country. But the problem is, I'm not seeing the results of all this. If Mr. President, if you're so big on law and order and all this, why haven't we seen Antifa being rounded up, being arrested, being prosecuted, being thrown in jail? Okay? Why are you letting these guys run their mouth protesting this and this and this? Why aren't they being treated like the January 6th patriots that happened to them? Why? If you say you're about law and order, and you say you're all for the rule of law, as you say, why aren't we seeing Antifa thugs being perp walked into federal prison? Why aren't we seeing that? Why haven't we seen Cash Patel perp walk these Andy and Brandy Tifas into federal detention center? Why? Is it that you want to take your sweet ass time? Or is it that you're afraid of pissing off certain deep staters that probably got you by your wrist? Just thinking of it out there, guys. But the fact of the matter is, if he's all for restoring law and order in this country, why hasn't he cracked down on Antifa? Why hasn't he cracked down on leftist NGOs? Why hasn't he? Because the problem is, guys, it's all bluster. It's all talk. It's all talk. It's basically all talk, pumping his chest, making himself look like he's big and bad and he's the shit in front of the MAGA crowd. But the people like me, we want results. Actions speak louder than words. It matters. It's not what you say, it's what you do is more important. And this is what I'm trying to get to you people. People like to talk like they're the shit. People like to talk like they're the shit, they're big and bad and all this shit. But like Mr. Trump, actions speak louder than words. And right now, we're not seeing any action. We're not seeing any results. He likes to talk about labeling Antifa as a domestic terrorist, but ladies and gentlemen, where's the action? Where is the results? Okay, where is the report card? At least give us a report card that says you are doing this, you are making headway, or give us like a web page of updated reports saying like this is what the FBI is doing this week in combating against Antifa. Give us a report card, Cash. A report card would satisfy me saying, hey, at least I know Cash Patel is on it. At least I know Cash Patel is going after Antifa and all this, okay? At least I know we're making headway, all right? The problem I see here in this country is that you got Antifas, the pro-Hamas, the pro-immigration cult, the leftists, Democrats, liberals. You got these people who are basically like trying to cause mayhem and havoc in this country, who are trying to basically impede the federal government. Makes me wonder, why hasn't Donald Trump send in the National Guard in to basically push these leftists out and send in U.S. Marshals to literally go arrest these Antifa thugs and throw them in federal prison? Makes me wonder while I'm standing here in my diaper and onesie, wondering why hasn't our federal government gone after Antifa the same way they would go after January 6th or anyone who was near or in around DC that day? Makes me fucking wonder as I'm standing here in my diaper and onesie, wondering why hasn't the federal government gone after these people? Why hasn't the federal government stopped these people? Why? I question that on a daily basis. I question our motives. I question why hasn't the federal government why haven't they gone why haven't they done that? Is it that there are certain people in Congress that hold that are in the pocket of Antifa, the pro Hamas, the pro immigration cult? Are they? Is there some congressmen that have them in their pocket? If I had pockets around my onesie, but is it? Because it looks like it, and it feels like it, and it seems like it. But to me, ladies and gentlemen, I just want to say like this. I just want to say like this. If Trump is all talk, he's no action. He talks the talk, but there's no walk the walk, and there's no results. I know Dan Bongino is pro-Trump, so am I on certain things. But this thing here, enforcing immigration like that, and then combating against the left, the pro-Hamas, pro-immigration, and Andes and Brandies and trainee Tifers, and they're not going after them like that, it makes me question what the fuck is going on in this country? What the fuck is going on? What the fuck is going on with our government that they're trying to, oh, we're trying to play nice, play nice. Screw fucking playing nice. Playing nice never gets us anywhere, ladies and gentlemen. And if you think you're gonna play nice with these leftists, fuck, we ain't. And I'm telling you, we play nice with these people, we would probably be in a civil war situation right now. We've been in a civil war, basically like with pitchforks, knives, and guns, and going after them. But the problem is, you got our Secretary of Homeland Security who's basically pussyfooting around this and not actually enforcing the rule of law. So it makes me wonder, are we actually doing it? Or is this all theater? Or is this all for show, for the MAGA crowd? Okay? Is this all for show? Because I'm a results driven type of person. I'm a results orientated person. And I want to see results. I want to see basically the results of all this. Okay? Like, say, for example, the results of going after like leftists, going after the anti-ICE cult, going after the Andes and Brandy's Tifas, going after their NGOs that are funding them. Okay? I want to see results. I don't want to see shit. I don't want to see conjecture. I don't want to see like just thinking about it. I want to see movement. I want to see action. I want to see results. I want to see prosecutions. I want to see the Andes and Brandy Tifas being thrown in fucking federal prison and being thrown, okay, in the deepest hole the fucking Bureau of Prisons has for these people. I want to see that kind of results. I don't want to hear talk. I don't want to hear, oh, we're doing this, we're doing this. That don't mean shit to me. That don't mean shit. And the fact that Trump likes to say he's all about the rule of law and he's all about bringing law and order, bitch, Rudy Giuliani would have done it a lot fucking better. Rudy Giuliani would have done it so much better than what we have right now. Maybe it's time to bring the broken windows policing that Rudy Giuliani did. Because Rudy Giuliani did that in New York City. You broke a window, you go to jail. You protest and riot and disrupt law enforcement, you go to jail. It's that simple. Bring back broken windows policing and do it at the federal level. You interfere with ICE, you go to jail. You block, impede, or disrupt a federal operation, you go to jail. It's that simple. Or here's another one. You have these anti-ICE protesters who will block like vans from leaving ICE detention facilities. You go to jail. You go to jail. You go to jail. You go to jail. If we had Rudy Giuliani like advising, like maybe putting him on the Homeland Security Committee like that, or the Homeland Security Commission, and advising the Secretary of Homeland Security how to do it, or how to bring broken windows policing to the anti-ICE and to the Andes and Brandy Tifas, we would be having these people thrown in jail in less than 2 seconds. We have these people literally sitting in county jail and basically, or in federal prison with no bail and basically waiting for the outcome of their court case. We literally would. But the fact of the matter is, these protests that the left is doing, and I guarantee you, ladies and gentlemen, they're going to keep doing this because it's like what? It's like what? In June now, it's June 1st. So this is already getting started. So at this point, guys, Broken windows policing needs to be put at the federal level. Okay, it's that simple, and that was part of Rudy Giuliani's war on crime, and we need to bring that back, and we need to bring that to federal level. I know Dan Bongino would talk about it on his show, and he talk about it a lot because he worked for Rudy Giuliani when he was an NYPD officer. Yeah, but I tell you, man, we need to bring back broken windows policing. We need to bring it back, and we need to use it to go after Antifa. Okay, we need to use it to go after the left and all that. Okay, I know Cash is saying we need to build a case. We need to build a case. Well, here's the thing: start putting your more agents to work on this. Okay, start telling these agents you don't get a vacation unless you get a prosecution. It's that simple. And then they'll work their ass off day in and day out. Then they'll work their asses off like no tomorrow. Because I'm telling you this, guys, they need to bring back this type of policing to go after the left. And pussyfooting around these people or trying to play nice to them. Yeah, that's not working. That's not helping, okay? That's actually emboldening these people. That's actually making these people like puff their chest like they're all big and bad and all this shit. But then when they get arrested and then they get thrown in a cell block in prison, then you know they're gonna cry like the soy bitches that they are because in prison is the most racially segregated. And if these Andy Brandy Teepers who say they're down with blacks and all that, the black inmates would be like, the fuck you are, asshole. They'll go to the white inmates and say, you want to deal with this? It's like, nah, man. You want to deal with this? Nah. They'll just like PC them in less than 2 seconds. But I'm telling you this, guys. I'm telling you this. We need to bring Rudy Giuliani's broken windows policing and go after these anti-ICE cult members. We need to basically bring back the 9/11 Patriot Act law. This is why what happened at Delaney Hall last week is a fucking tragedy. Is a fucking disaster for Trump's law and order and all this bullshit. It is. It's a fucking disaster. And I'm telling you guys, it is an epic disaster. And I, for one, as a libertarian, okay, it's a disaster. It's a disaster for this country. It is. It literally is. But this is why, guys, I'm all for bringing back the rule of law. I'm all for bringing back Rudy Giuliani's broken windows policing. And if we don't bring that back, we're basically fucking ourselves. We're basically screwing ourselves to the 10th degree. We literally are. But I'm telling you this, guys. I'm telling you this. As someone who is a libertarian, who is pro law enforcement, but the problem is they're being handcuffed. They're being handcuffed like this, and they're being told to enforce the law. Bring back Rudy Giuliani's broken windows policing, and I guarantee you, Andy's and Brandy Tiefers would be sitting in a prison cell, okay? And let them cry to their mama, okay? Let them cry to their mama, because their mama ain't gonna come get them out of jail. Nah, their mama ain't gonna let them. But this is why I've said this many times, that broken windows policing needs to come back in this country, and it really needs to, in a big way. It really, really does. But I will say this, guys, and I will say this, is that what happened at Delaney Hall last week with these ICE protesters, these ICE lunatics, that needs to end. That needs to end like no tomorrow. That really does. It really, really does, guys. It really needs to end. But on this note, guys, I want to thank you guys for listening to Nikki's World. I'm Nikki, your host. I will see y'all soon. Bye for now.
You just listened to an episode of Nikki's World. Thanks for listening. We'll see y'all soon. Bye for now.